press hard and we get through the fire. Got the edge and we're taking it higher. Reaching for the ages, and we got it all. We have power.
Welcome back to one of these super special episodes of Made for More, where I riff on something legal because, you know, my day job is as of a lawyer. I'm not just a podcast star. So anyway, in the past, there used to be two ways to approach a divorce as it relates to the paperwork. The first way is what I would call the traditional way, which is each side files their own set of paperwork, starting with the summons and petition, and then the various different documents that are required by the court after that. The other way was what's called a summary dissolution in California. However, and this was a more succinct way to do it, but in order to qualify for a summary dissolution, you had to be married for less than 5 years, have no kids, and have very limited community property. So it really only applied to a small subset of people. There's really been no good way, no more efficient way for people that have been married for over 5 years, maybe they have a kid or two, and that have acquired a house or some other community property. There hasn't been a really efficient way to get those people divorced when they agree. Now, in my law firm, I do a fair amount of mediations, and I've actually had to do a bunch of different workarounds as it relates to the paperwork to sort of serve these people where they have assets, they have kids, they've been married for a long time, and I've had to do workarounds to sort of deal with the heavy amount of paperwork that is required. Until now, starting January 1st, 2026, basically, they came out with a new law, a new way for people that are in agreement to get a divorce, which is great because for you out there, if you're thinking I fall into that category where I've been married for more than 5 years, maybe I have a couple kids, maybe we have a house or some other property, some retirement accounts, but me and my spouse really are amicable and we agree with a lot of the things. Now there's a really efficient way to do that. It's through a joint petition. So instead of going the traditional route where each side has to file their own set of paperwork, which can be pretty daunting and overwhelming, particularly if you don't have attorneys, now there's this great new way through a joint petition where you guys can file together. You can basically just state the agreement that you have, and it's a much quicker, cleaner, more efficient, and ultimately, if you do have legal counsel involved, it's going to be a lot cheaper process than anything we've had before. So finally, maybe we have some hope that California family law might catch up to the DMV and make some progress in terms of how they're handling cases, because it's still a very archaic system. If you've been through it, you know that it tests your patience more than anything other in the entire whole wide world. So I'm very hopeful that this new process, this new basically set of paperwork through a joint petition is going to make amicable divorces much more efficient. If you have any questions about that and you live in California, please feel free to reach out. Our contact information is below. A prenuptial agreement, or sometimes called a premarital agreement, is an agreement that two parties enter into before they get married that basically chooses to deviate from state law. It assigns rights and responsibilities regarding assets and debts that are acquired during the marriage. Some common misconceptions about prenups are, one, that they basically doom the marriage to failure, or that it's really planning to divorce, and neither of those things are true. But the real value of a prenup is talking about and creating rules around how the things that you acquire during the marriage are going to be characterized. A prenup can protect things like art collections, real estate portfolios, businesses, all those types of assets. The ideal timeline to get a prenup is not 2 weeks before the wedding. The final version of a prenup has to be presented to the parties 7 days before they actually sign it. So there's like a 7-day waiting period. As soon as you get engaged, you should seek a lawyer's advice and counsel on a prenup and start the process then, because the closer the prenup is signed to the wedding, the more likely that the court is going to think there was some sort of duress involved in that person signing it, and they have to prove that the prenup was signed voluntarily in order for them to be enforced. At Moore Family Law Group, we represent a lot of high-profile people, celebrities, professional athletes, business tycoons. If you already have a lot of assets or you think you're going to be acquiring a lot of assets during your marriage, we are the best ones to protect that for you and help you make your marriage stronger. Call Moore Family Law Group today.